Alright, how's it hanging, Jack Attackers, and welcome back to another video for you guys. It is that time of the month again where I discuss everything I watched the past month. This being September 2020, of course. What did I watch this year in terms of movies and TV? Let's just get on into that. Starting off with the TV, of course, as usual. What would you do? It ended this month early on. And again, I've talked about it a little bit on the channel now with these videos. I recommend checking it out. It's fun. It's nice reality TV, I guess. Puts people in situations you wonder what they're going to do. And it sometimes refills your hope in humanity, I guess. If that's any way to put it. Next, I watched Big Brother, another reality TV show. And honestly, this is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I never talk about it on the channel, but yeah, I just want to say I love this show. This season, however, sucks. It's an awful season, but that's besides the point. Then I watched The Boys, but I only got around to watching one episode because it really triggered my anxiety. I hate to be that guy, but yeah, it messed with my anxiety a little bit, so I had to lay off. But it sucks because I really want to watch the show. It's complicated, but yeah, I'm hoping to get around to watching the other episodes of the season. Then I caught up on the Eric Andre show. This is a bit of a random one, but season 5 is actually coming out in October, so that's super interesting. I had no intent of... I had no idea that season 5 was going to be coming out in October. I just wanted to watch the show because I had been, stopping and starting and starting and stopping and blah, 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 the show for a while. But every time I watched it, I was like, I love this show. And then I just binged, the last season, and I was like, holy shit, it's kind of one of my favorite shows of all time. Very interested to see how season 5 plays out with everything, I guess, now. And I'll probably do a review for it once season 5 is completed. But yeah, I love this show. It's hilarious. Then I started watching a new series called Yellowstone. I got a lot of people recommending me to watch this show. And as a fan of Westerns and the Western genre, I was super excited to check it out. And it's pretty solid. I'm only about 6 episodes in the first season, so I haven't gotten too deep into it yet. But I still enjoy it. I think it's definitely a solid show, and I can definitely find myself growing to like it even more than I already do. It's not the most exciting Western out there, but there's definitely aspects to it I really enjoy. And it's intriguing for sure, so I really enjoy it. Another reality TV show I watched was Brother vs. Brother. This is on the HGTV channel, I believe. Yeah, I still have cable. Epic. I watched this with my mom. It's these guys that make a house. It's wholesome. I don't know. I like it. It's entertaining for me. Then I watched Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. I did a whole review for this, so if you want to go check that out, it's up on the channel, and I can kind of give my more in-depth thoughts on that. I didn't hate it. I didn't enjoy it a lot. It's fine. It did what it needed to do, I guess. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I kind of hate it, but that's fine. And then Bob's Burgers season 11 started, which I am kind of over the show, to be honest. I think it's kind of lost its charm. I'm really not into it that much anymore. So yeah, that's... I mean, only one episode is aired at the time of me making this video, so... there's really not much to go on, but I just found it kind of, I'm over it. I don't know, I don't find it funny anymore. And I know some people are like, it was never funny. Well, that's your opinion. Anyway, let's move on to the movies. The first film I watched this month, which seems like such a long time ago, was Tenet. And I talked about this movie a little bit in my Christopher Nolan ranking video, so if you want to see my ranking of all of his movies, make sure to check that out in the ranking stuff playlist. But Tenet is a solid movie. It's another dub for Christopher Nolan. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. Definitely not top tier Nolan. It's got flaws, but it's good. Then I watched Robin's Wish, an incredibly sad documentary about the final few years of Robin Williams' life. Kind of goes into more detail about what truly happened with his suicide. and it's fucking tragic. I mean, that's really the only thing that I can say. You got to be in a right mindset to watch this film. It's very emotional, but I wanted to check it out. I really wanted to see it because I really enjoy Robin Williams. And I'm kind of glad I did see it, but again, tremendously sad. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you're gonna check this film out. Then I watched Mulan, the 2020 version. Uh, it's like not awful, but it's not good really either. Then I watched Bad Boys. Bad Boys is fun, kind of. I don't know. It's dull at certain moments, but I had never seen these Bad Boys movies. So let's talk about Bad Boys 2 now, I guess. Pretty fun. I don't know which one I like more. I guess the first Bad Boys, but I'll get to Bad Boys for Life in a second because I also watched that this month. But The Devil All the Time, let's talk about that. So, The Devil All the Time was a very anticipated movie for me and a lot of other people going into it. And it's good. Acting's incredible. Tom Holland's great. Robert Pattinson's phenomenal. I really enjoy this movie. It does have flaws, but it is solid. Slightly underwhelmed because I just had so much hype going into this, but it's still great. It's a good movie. Check it out. Then I watched Antebellum. Antebellum is super controversial. Some people just despised it because of the way it was advertised as like this horror film. And it's horrific in terms of the subject matter, the contents in this movie. It's horrific because it's about slavery, and no spoilers because there's a plot twist and people got pissed off about the plot twist. I fucking loved the plot twist. Like as soon as it happened, I was on board. There was definitely a lull in between the movie, like for maybe about 30 to 40 minutes where I was just kind of like but then the last like 40 minutes of the film, I was so down with. I was so down with. And I know people didn't like it because it was kind of like false advertised. But, I mean, if you haven't seen any of the trailers, just go in with an open mind. I enjoy it. It's honestly one of my favorite films of the year so far. And I was not expecting that at all. But it is. Alright, now let's talk about Bad Boys for Life. I guess this is probably my favorite Bad Boys film. There's a lot more stakes involved with this movie. It feels like it has heart, and I really appreciate that. I mean, not to say that the other Bad Boys movies don't have hearts, but this one definitely you can feel it a bit more, in my opinion. And I really enjoy it. It's not like amazing, like it's not masterpiece. It's not like super exciting all the time, but there are fun moments. And yeah, I like it, and that's about all I can say. Then I watched Enola Holmes. Enola Holmes, I didn't particularly enjoy. I don't know why I watched it. I just knew Henry Cavill and Millie Bobby Brown were going to be in it. And I was like, okay, I'll check out their performances. And they're fine. It's a PG-13 film. And it doesn't feel like it deserves that rating. Which is, I guess, maybe why I was kind of turned off by it. It seems very kid-friendly. There are a few instances where it's like, oh, that's a little sus. So maybe that's PG-13. But, like, I don't know, it just kind of feels like... Because I've seen some, like, hardcore PG-13 movies, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, our movies are, like, really hardcore, but I've seen some hardcore PG-13 films, and this just feels like an advanced PG... It doesn't really feel like... It could have easily been PG, honestly. Anyway, it just felt really childish, kind of. Not, like, the worst film ever made, but I didn't care for it too much. Then I watched The Photograph. I wanted to see this. This was like a film that came out kind of like early at the beginning of this year before COVID happened. Like I think this played in theaters before all the madness occurred. But The Photograph is decent. It's not amazing, but it's not bad either. I knew going into this of course was going to be a romantic tale. And I'm not a huge fan of romance, so some people are probably like, why'd you watch it? Because I want to give every movie a shot, I give everything a shot, and I was like, yeah, I'll watch The Photograph, and I wasn't, like, upset with it. It's a fine movie, it's just like, not my sort of thing. Then I rewatched Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Now, Rise of the Planet of the Apes is an interesting movie because I had the urge to rewatch it, first of all, and I was very scared of this movie as a child. I remember seeing it back in theaters in 2011 when it came out. Horrified me. I don't know. It's still a scary movie. This whole trilogy is scary. So I guess let's just talk about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, because I also rewatched that. I hadn't seen this movie, I don't think, since 2014 when it came out in theaters. So and this trilogy, people talk about it all the time, being like one of the best trilogies. And I'm like, yeah, I remember liking these movies. I have a War for the Planet of the Apes poster in my room. Which, by the way, I didn't get around to seeing War for the Planet of the Apes this month. I'll probably rewatch it. That'll probably be the first film I rewatch in October. So, yeah, I'll give my thoughts on that later. But Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is, and Rise is, these movies are movies I wanted to see because, well, I've already seen them, but I wanted to rewatch them because people talk about how the trilogy is really good, and I'm like, yeah, I remember liking these movies, but yeah, I haven't seen them in a while, and they're scary. They're fucking horrifying. Like, honestly, I'm still gonna say, like, I remember being scared by them when I was younger. Fuck it, they're still fucking scary as shit. I don't give a fuck. They are scary fucking movies. And that's just my opinion, but they scare the shit out of me. Good movies, mind you. I think Rise and Dawn, really good films. I'm excited to check out War again because, again, I think I haven't seen it since 2017. So I've seen all these movies only like one time when I saw them in theaters, and I did see them all in theaters. So that's kind of cool that I saw this entire trilogy in theaters. Anyway, enough of that. But yeah, that's everything I watched this month. Of course, let me hear your guys' thoughts, and let me hear all of the movies and TV you guys checked out, or just some of your favorites, some of the best things you saw this month. Of course, rewatches or new content doesn't matter. But yeah, if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Boop.